What's up, everyone? I'm back with a video. That's it. That's my intro. But let's get started. We're going to analyze the situation in Guild Wars 2, specifically PvP, that involves near-death experiences, lots of combat, and an outnumbered fight that goes in my favor. My hope is that I can break this video down for you so that by the end of it, you have the ability to apply these same techniques and go into a fight with the same mindset that I do, and one that will allow you to control the outcome no matter what class you play. But first, if you rock with me, if you like this channel, all I ask is for a humble and free like on the video, and subscribe if you've just discovered this channel and you like Guild Wars 2 or gaming content in general. Okay guys, so this specific instance I'm playing Engineer. I've been having a lot of fun on Grenadesmith lately. It's one of those classes that feels very fast-paced. It does have a lot of utility, but at the end of the day, it's not about the class, it's about the player and how you're playing the class yourself. So the first thing that I generally want to tell you guys is whenever you're going into Guild Wars 2 PvP, or anything in life really that is going to have an outcome where you either get what you want or you don't, is to really hone in and have confidence in yourself. In any game that I play, no matter who I'm playing, I'm 100% confident that I'm going to win the game. I may not win the game, but the point of you being confident in yourself is that if you're not, then you're going to be distracted by the other player and intimidated, and you may not be able to freely take risks like you want, which could end up winning you the fight. So that's the first thing I want to tell you guys, is that whenever I go into a game, I go in with full confidence that I'm going to win. It doesn't matter who it is or who I'm fighting. Alright, so we're going to go into this. I will break it down for you slowly, but I want to make sure that we play it in real time, so that way you guys can actually see it in real time. And if you want it slowed down, just let me know in the comments below. I can redo another video slowed down, or we can even go in my Discord channel and speak on it and I can slow it down. By the way guys, if that's something that you're interested in, if you want to kind of go over some videos, you can either send them to me, I could go over them on the YouTube video, or we could go in private. I have a Discord channel where we can just sit, you can screen share, and I wouldn't mind going over your footage with you. So that 7 shot, as you guys see right there, the first shot that the Revenant does is a really strong attack. I end up dodging half of it, but I make sure that when any class that I play, especially if I don't have the Vigor buff that gives you a faster regeneration for energy, I don't really want to waste dodge rolls. So I wouldn't mind taking 50% of the damage, which I was going to anyways. But I was able to just fight him in. Now I see one dodge roll there, he tried to get a heal. As you guys saw, I did interrupt the heal when I used my shockwave, and he instantly stun broke that. You could see up here on his bar that he does have the dwarf stance there, he is blinded, but we can go over that real quick. I will try to just play it here. So you saw there, he got hit, and instantly you see this dwarf over his head. He's using the elite skill. Now another thing that I've just known over the course of time is, because I've played every single class, I know from my own perspective and my own personal experience that certain players or certain classes have tendencies. So let me give you an example here. He just used an elite. The elite uses a lot of energy, so I know he doesn't have much energy to do some of the other attacks, like the crowd control where he taunts you. He may be able to use hammers and maybe be able to use the heal, but we have to wait for him to recharge. So in my head, while I'm waiting at this point, I know that I can be a little bit more offensive. Now, I also make sure to get out of heat form there. As you guys see at the bottom of the screen, my heat is getting a little high and I don't want to overheat. That's the one thing that you don't want to do, especially on an engineer. So we're getting close. I end up downing him here. Now he pushes me as you could see there, right? He was about to push me off. You can see because his hand does go back a little bit as he's going to push. And right as he does that, I use my elixir there to give me stability to avoid that. And we end up getting the stomp there. So that was a 1v1 situation, right? I was fully confident in my abilities. I didn't really take a lot of damage. He took a lot more damage than I did. And now he's on respawn. I am on his node, by the way. Now we are winning the game for now, but we don't have any nodes. So I am just gonna stay here to take this node and we'll see what happens. Fast forward a little bit more. The Revenant is coming back, and as you can see, I am engaging him. I want to show him that I'm not afraid to fight him. I'm gonna push him so that way hopefully it hurts his confidence a little bit. He already lost the fight. A lot of this that I'm going to talk to you guys about right now is more about the mindset of the player, not necessarily the class or the game mechanics itself. It's going to be hand in hand because there's a couple things that I personally do, as I had mentioned in a few videos. One, have more confidence than another player, that I'm better. And may not be true, right? I'm not trying to sound conceited or arrogant, but you do have to have a mindset in which you believe that you are going to win in any situation in Guild Wars 2, especially for PvP. Another thing that you want to notice is certain players, they're human, so we're creatures of habit. We're going to have certain patterns. My goal that I try to do is I try to be unpredictable, which is another tip that I want to give you guys. Try to be unpredictable, notice your tendencies. If you use one skill, right? For example, let's take Hollowsmith since I am on Hollowsmith. If a player starts to notice that after every time I do the spinning Corona Burst, which is the 3 skill on Hollowsmith, and every time after I do a 5, right, because my fingers just naturally move on the keyboard to that number 5, then they're going to start anticipating it and either dodging it or waiting it out to make sure that they can dodge the CC and do a lot of damage on me, because that does a lot of heat. Take a lot of heat. So we'll go in. I'm standing up here, right? And the reason I'm standing up there is mainly so I can avoid getting teleported on. He is in Shiro. I always also like to look at the bar underneath the health bar, the status bar I call it, to see what abilities, what boons, and anything that a player has. So it's like looking at a rear view mirror. I tend to look at this every other second or something. Just a quick glance. I don't have to stare at it. But that's just something that I would recommend you do as well. Just see, so that way he can't teleport on me, right? Even though I'm in stealth. And so I go in instantly for the attack here. And I'm doing a lot of damage. He hasn't really hurt me yet. As you see, we'll go back just to see some of the things that I did. I did a lot of auto attacks here. So as you can see here, he's up in this position where kind of you could see the arrows already coming down. He could try to cancel this. He's already in the animation. This is a good time whenever somebody's using a skill that is being channeled, or yeah, pretty much being channeled where they can't really move or they will cancel it. That is a very good time to stun them, because there's a delay, right? One, with the skill, there's a delay. I'm not going to take any damage in between my own shockwave. Shockwave is another skill that you could hurt somebody on, right? You could stun them in the middle of a shockwave, just things like that. Keep in mind. But end up hitting him with that. Do a lot of auto attacks, and instantly I see the Ellie. The first time I noticed the Ellie, by the way, guys, I noticed the Ellie. He's right there at the very top of the bridge. He's coming down. They're gonna try to 2v1 me, try to take this node. So I'm already fighting this guy, but in the back of my head, I know the Ellie's on his way. So I want to just put in some damage. Ellie teleported on me with his lightning ability, his sword 2. I dodge away, and I'm still focusing. I don't have anyone targeted, which is a bad thing, right? I will say that. I should have one of them targeted, but the Revenant himself, I'm still putting a lot of movement on him. And as you can see, the Elementalist, one thing about the Elementalist here in this case, he has a lot of skills that are area effect. So my goal as well is to stand as far away from those as possible and not take any unnecessary damage. So I use my shield 4 there, get a little bit of reflect. That's the reason I use it. They have projectiles, especially that Revenant. I want to make sure to avoid getting hit by them. And then instantly I use my sword 3. Sword 3 is going to give me swiftness, or quickness, I'm sorry. And then I go right into sword 5, which was kind of hit through and unblockable. Now I'm taking a lot of damage here, but the one thing that I don't do is I don't panic. I'm not going to use my elixir. I have my heal, right? The first thing, another tip that I want to give you guys here. Make sure to try to go through the steps, right? There's an order of operations that you need to go through whenever you are in a situation like this. First thing, I have my heal. I can't use my elixir, well, I could, but I think it would be a bad move, especially against a good player. They're going to be able to time me out of it. I'm not going to have any HP. And they're probably also anticipating that I do that because, so they're saving a lot of their skills, right? They're not going to try to finish me off as quickly as they would until I use that. So I don't want to use it. I want to use my heal, it's my first skill, or I want to use my elite skill, which is the supply crate, because that does stun and provides me a water field. So what do I do first here? I use my heal. I am a little bit further away from them too. They are both classes that are physical classes, and since the Ellie just teleported on me, I know that I have a little bit more speed than he does at this point in time. So I can safely get my heal off right there, which I do. And now I do use my Corona Burst there, so I can try to pressure them off. It is an area of effect attack, so it will bring them off a little bit, and right into Supply Crate. Supply Crate, and then I use my Corona Blast there, which is the 5 skill, I'm sorry, Shockwave, to hit that area of effect healing. Which, because I've played Engineer for quite some time, as you can see there, the heat was almost to that point where I overheated. However, I knew just the amount that I needed to use, so I was safe there. Split second decisions are always things that we need to focus on as well. If I throw some grenades, now you see here, right guys, I still have my supply crate, and what I'm going to do here is I waited out for this stealth field here, so that way I can blast it, because it is a blast. So right there, I end up popping the supply crate. It does provide me stealth, because whenever you break the turrets, it is a blast finisher. So I am stealth here. That does allow them to detarget me. And I am still chasing this Revenant. Now I have him targeted again, which is a good thing. As you guys are aware, I called myself out on that. Now we have him retargeted, and he dies again. So as he dies, my goal here now is to stomp him out, because I'm not going to be able to cleave out the damage. The Elementalist has a lot of pulsing effects that are going to hurt me. So what do? I use my elixir at this point in time. Had I used it earlier to avoid damage, I wouldn't have gotten this. Now remind you guys, the Elementalist also tried to crowd control me here. I don't know if you guys can tell, but as he comes in right here, I'm kind of in the way, but you see right there, his sword is kind of swung back, right? That is the crowd control skill in Earth, where they hit you up in the air. So as I see, I'm gonna go ahead and use my elixir, stomp it out, and I end up going in. Now as you can see, I am doing a lot of movement too, right? This fight went all the way from, let's see what timestamp we are, 1:30 there. I mean, this thing went all the way from here by this pillar and went through this, so I'm doing a lot of movements. We'll watch it through. And that's one thing that I want to also have you guys understand, is just doing a lot of movements, not staying in one place for too long either. You want them to be able to chase you as well, because it's like if you're in a boxing match where you see your favorite UFC fighter, and they're not really stationary. They're moving around, going in and out, jabbing, hitting their opponent every once in a while. So it's kind of the same thing here. You want to do that. I want you to take away from the things that I've done and really focus on winning and trying to be hard to kill. From those little tips that I've given you throughout the video, I do personally believe that you will ultimately just find yourself in a better position in 99% of the games that you play, and you will be able to at least make more of an impact than the rest of your team so you can win those games. That's it for this video, guys. I will be seeing you all in the next one, and I hope you all have a good day.